You're listening to the How to Talk to Girls podcast, where you'll learn step-by-step how to meet and seduce beautiful women, whether you're looking for one night of fun, a week-long fling, or a long-term relationship. I'm your host, Tripp, and the episode starts now. Hello and welcome to another episode of the How to Talk to Girls podcast. I'm your host, Tripp Kramer from trippadvice.com. Welcome back to another episode, and hello if you are new here. Today we are talking about the 3 signs that you are a man-child. Have you ever heard this before, being called a man-child? Let me just give you a very brief definition of what this means. A man-child is someone who has what's called Peter Pan syndrome, who is someone who refuses to grow up. And that could be someone who refuses to grow up on an emotional level. That's right. So what's happening is a guy or a girl, really. I mean, right now we're talking to guys, but there are people out there who refuse to grow up, kind of get stuck in immature ways. And it usually comes down to a fear of growing up, a fear of what's ahead, wanting to stick to your childhood, not necessarily literally your childhood, like when you were a teen, but sticking in your immature ways. And I'll give you some examples of what that means. And the reason why I'm doing this episode is because I think that there's some things in personal development that are good for you to learn and to know, and honestly, reminders for me too, that are going to be good for not only your whole life, but especially in meeting women and dating and becoming a more attractive person and being the most attractive and best person you could be. So I kind of wanted to review those today and give you some ideas. Again, these are really related to, like I said, personal development. So they're just good for everything in your life. It's going to help you grow and be a better person. And I was sitting here kind of thinking, what are some of the things in terms of emotional immaturity or not growing up that are really hindering your success with women and dating? If you feel after I go over these that these are some things that you need to work on and it's something you want to talk about, we can do that. And of course, we're going to be talking about it in the realms of how you can attract and meet more women. So if you need help with that, don't hesitate. Go to coachedbytripp.com where you can apply for coaching, and you and I can get on a phone call and we can discuss some of your issues and see where your sticking points are and see where you're going wrong that's hindering your success at meeting and, like I said, attracting more women into your life. So go to coachedbytripp.com, apply. You have to be over 18 to apply, and then I will read your application. There have been a few applications that have come through the past week where the person literally put one word for the answers. And of course, that's not going to entice me to want to coach you because it just seems like you're not serious about it. And there's no real secret here. If you're not serious about coaching and it's not something that you want to put effort into, it's not going to work for you. Just like anything else, you need to put the work in no matter what you're doing. By the way, don't let anyone tell you different. The good news is coaching makes the work easier because it's a lot harder to do this on your own. It's a lot harder to push yourself, motivate yourself. It's a lot harder to figure out the answers to some of your issues. That's why coaching exists, and that's why I can help you. So go to coachedbytripp.com and apply today. So we're going to get into it. What are some signs that you are a man-child? Number 1, and this is a big one. I always like to start with the big ones. 0 ambition. You don't want something more. You don't want something more. You know, I feel that a lot of people who kind of get stuck in their ways don't want more for themselves. Here's the good news. I don't think you're that person because you're listening to this podcast. And this is, pretty much a self-help, personal development podcast with a niche of dating. So you do want something more you're trying to learn. But people get stuck in their ways. And the reason why I think that this is sort of a man-child or just kind of immature way about going at life is because I think that when you don't want something more, it's usually due to fear. And fear is normal, but I feel like you are kind of trapped in that younger person's body. Maybe something happened when you were a child that caused some fear that's going on from progressing further in your life. I just feel like there was something that maybe happened in your childhood that has caused this fear of growth, about being better. I don't think necessarily, this is just an opinion, I only know a little bit about psychology. I just don't think I don't think it's natural. I think fear is natural, but for someone who doesn't want more for themselves, you're stuck somewhere. I feel like you're stuck somewhere. And it doesn't have to be that you want to be someone huge, the most successful person in the world, the most famous person in the world. I'm not talking about that. It can be really small. It could be someone who's just listening to this episode of this podcast going, I want to learn something. I want to grow. I want more for myself. What can I do to have a little bit more for myself so I can be a better person? So I feel that, and again, I'm not trying to come down on anyone here. This is not me going, you're a man child, and I'm not trying to diss anybody. Everyone's on their own path. Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone has something different in terms of their past and how they grew up. There's a lot of different experiences. I'm only trying to make you aware of this so I can motivate you to grow, to be a better person. And I know this is kind of meta because this first one is just about the idea of growth and being a better person. And that's what we're talking about. But this is what I'm trying to say here is that people who don't want something more, it's sad. I'm not coming down on that person. I feel for that person. I feel bad for that person because they're not in what's called the growth mindset. There's two mindsets, fixed mindset and growth mindset. Growth mindset is you look at your life and you say, okay, where can I grow? And then, something goes wrong or you fail. You don't get fixed in your ways, but you go, okay, what can I learn from this and how can I keep moving forward? How can I grow from this? And then people in the fixed mindset, they really just don't think there's an opportunity for them to grow, that they can't get better. And I know we're kind of being vague here, but this can literally be about anything in your life. This can be from socializing to dating and relationships to your career to your health, right? It can be literally anything. Something that is just important to you in your life. Where do you want to grow? So I encourage you, especially with, I think, this episode is now in 2020. I record my episodes ahead of time. So I believe this episode is now in the year 2020. What can we do this year? What can you do this year to grow, to be better, to make your life easier? And I know that sounds strange because growth is hard, but growth is great because in a way it makes your life easier at the end. Right? So if you work on something now, a goal, and you achieve that goal by the end of the year, let's say that's maybe getting over your approach anxiety, going out and talking to women. Right now it's hard, but then it's going to make it easier to meet women once you've gotten through the approach anxiety. Right? So whatever it is that you're trying to do, think about it in the growth mindset. Yes, hard now, but let's work on it now. So this is the first one. The idea of not having ambition. Staying in your ways, staying stuck in your ways, creating a pity party for yourself. And we've all been there. I've been there. You create this little pity party. This is going wrong, but you're not pushing yourself. So you got to get up. You got to dust yourself off. I always say, and I don't talk about this enough, one of the best skills you could have in growth or in meeting and attracting women is resiliency, being able to get back up as fast as you can after something tough happens. It's hard, but that's why it's so important. Because if you have resiliency, then you can grow faster. All right, next on the list is hedonistic. Hedonistic. I'm going to give you the actual definition here on Google of what hedonistic means so you can really understand here. It means engaged in the pursuit of pleasure, sensually self-indulgent. So someone who's hedonistic likes to party a lot, likes to buy a lot of stuff, likes to do drugs, likes to drink, pleasure seeking. Okay. Someone who is pleasure seeking. And that is a very childish move, right? It's very childish, right? When you're a kid, you just want all, the things that give you pleasure. You want sugar, you want gifts, you want things. And that's okay because you're a kid. I think, in my opinion, kids are naturally hedonistic. But as you grow up, there are people who kind of stay in their ways and are still hedonistic. And the problem with hedonistic is hedonism also hinders your growth. Okay, why? Because you're going after the shiny object that might not be good for you, and you're going for the quick fix. The quick fix. And the quick fix is usually something that gives you fast pleasure. That's why people usually drink or why they do drugs or maybe why they masturbate a lot or why they might be addicted to, could be sex, could be drugs, could be alcohol. That's when it becomes more addiction based. I'm not talking about people who are addicted. So let me just kind of back up a little bit and just understand I'm not talking about people who have addictions, but who are just really focused on fast pleasure or quick fixes or something that's going to help them really fast, but understand that hedonism and you being hedonistic is working against you. Why? Because what you really want is you want to train yourself to know that results and things and goals and accomplishments come from a lot of hard work and it comes from something that happens over time and it's not something that's going to be quick. And the person who's a hedonist is going to probably avoid that and avoid hard work because they're so used to fast pleasure or things that are fast, right? Someone who maybe eats a lot of junk food instead of trying to work out or eat healthy. That's someone who's hedonistic, the person who's going to go to McDonald's and pick up some crap instead of eating something a little bit more healthy. So you got to think in terms of, are there any areas of your life where you feel that you're hedonistic? And this doesn't apply to everyone. Not everyone is like this. Some people aren't hedonistic at all, but also not necessarily on the other end of things where they're going for the growth. So some people may not be hedonistic, but they might be lazy. Okay, so I'll kind of combine these two for this second example here. Maybe you're hedonistic, maybe you're lazy, maybe you're both, right? Whatever it is, you're going for something that's going to be instant pleasure. To be honest, I think laziness and hedonistic really go together because someone who's lazy is not doing anything and there's pleasure in not doing something. There's pleasure in sitting on your couch and not doing anything. And maybe you're doing something hedonistic in a way because maybe you're playing on your phone and going on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and Twitter and Reddit and whatever else it is that you're doing, right? That's hedonistic in a sense because you're just going for these quick little dopamine hits and you're being lazy and you're not taking charge and you're not taking charge of your life. And that's what I want for you as a mature adult, as a mature male who's going to succeed in the world. I want you to look at life as something where you can grow and don't be scared of it. I think a lot of hedonism is also related to fear. Remember I said that in the last one, someone who doesn't want something more for their life, right? I think that there's a lot of fear involved and it's okay to have fear. Again, not knocking you for having fear, but I want you to be aware that it comes from fear, going for the quick fix, going for just the lazy do nothing, procrastination, not doing anything about what your issues are. There's a lot of fear there. It's a fear of failure. It's a fear of screwing up. And a lot of us have a hard time being able to handle that. I remember about 13 years ago when I was learning this stuff, I had fear too. I had fear of rejection. I was not able to put myself out there when I first learned about meeting women because I didn't want to be rejected, just like you didn't want to be rejected or you don't want to be rejected because it doesn't feel good. And things that don't feel good, we stay away from. Hence hedonism, right? Is you go towards the things that feel good. So what I ask you here is let's get into a growth mindset and let's understand that. Let me just tell you, and because I've been through this now. I've been through hard work of, gaining muscle in some areas. That's the health work. Meeting women, obviously I've gained a lot there because I've been working on it over time and time again and then coaching you guys. And then areas of business, right? Growing this podcast, for example, or growing my YouTube channel. And so at the end of some of your goals, that feeling that you get, let's call it the feeling of fulfillment. That feeling is 50 million times better than the quick fix, than the quick donut. Because you know what happens after you eat the donut or drink or do drugs is you feel good in the moment, maybe really good in the moment. But then afterwards, you kind of have this down. You don't feel as good. But fulfillment is this clean feeling where you did something, you accomplished something, and it lasts. It's literally like building yourself and building this amazing home. That's kind of the analogy here. You're building this amazing home, which is you. You're building you. And each and every day that you work towards something, it might not be fun, it might be hard to do, but then you end up with this beautiful home. So let's say, for example, meeting women, like right now, it could be very hard going out there, getting in the trenches, approaching women, back and forth, and it sucks and it sucks and it sucks. And all of a sudden, you get better at it. now this is something that you've invested in. So it's going to last you forever, that skill, right? So then you're going to feel good for a long time. It's going to feel really good and you're going to be happy. So yes, the hard work sucks, but it ends up with a great prize. You know how I said earlier that I usually start as the first one with one of the most important ones? I think I'm going to take that back because this one is the actual most important one that a lot of people do. And you're doing it. You're doing it. And I've done it. We're all guilty. You can't get away from it. The last one is playing victim. Playing the victim. It's an immature, fixed mindset type of mentality to be having. Playing the victim. What does that mean? Playing victim means that you're saying that any of the problems that you have in your life are not because of you, meaning that you're putting the blame on everything else outside of you. Maybe you're putting the blame on society or your boss or the girl that rejected you, whatever it may be. You got to be aware in your head of what is going on in your life where you think that someone else or something external to you is causing your issues. Because at the end of the day, 99.9 times out of 100, maybe even 100 out of 100, I'm sure there's a one baby exception. But still, what I'm saying is pretty much every time that you ever have an issue, it can always be traced back to you. You hate your boss is bringing you down, get a new job. It's hard to get a new job, well, work harder. You're going and approaching women, they're all rejecting you, so it's their problem. Well, they suck. They don't see how amazing I am, or they were this, or they were that. Nope. It always comes back to you. There's something that you can do better. If you play victim mentality and you just leave it to blaming external sources, you will not grow at all. You won't go anywhere. Maybe you've been doing this for a long time and you can see, wow, Tripp, you're right. It hasn't taken me anywhere. I haven't been able to do any growth whatsoever because I'm not bringing it back to what I can do and then therefore to fix it. So what is it in your life right now where you're playing victim, where you're saying it's that person's fault, it's that person's fault? I mean, listen, at the end of the day, depending on what country you live in, you probably have a lot of freedom, okay? Again, I know that there are different countries where you don't have that many freedoms, but in a lot of countries, at least people who are listening to this podcast, you do have freedoms. You can do things to fix things. You can get new jobs. You can approach more women. You can fix your income. You can fix your health. There are things that you could do. It may not be easy. See, that's the thing, is that a lot of people who play victim, they're just usually and unknowingly lazy or don't want to work at the thing. It's like, well, still, it can always come back to you. It shouldn't matter whether the thing you can fix is hard or not. Some things are really easy to fix. But at the end of the day, if it's fixable, it comes back to you. If it's something that you can do to change it, it comes back to you. And I don't say this in a way where if something goes wrong, you should be shitty to yourself or blame yourself or be hard on yourself. This is not about lowering your self-esteem. It's about looking at this in more of a rational, logical way and going, okay, I'm in a situation right now where it's not good. You know, my friend did something that was mean. This happened at work. This is happening with my girlfriend or dating. But then looking at it and going, all right, where can I fix it? Where can I change it? How can I make this better? Maybe it is something you did where you made a mistake. Okay, forgive yourself. Resiliency, right? Move on, get up, dust yourself off, get going, move on, and figure out what you can do to fix yourself. So you see how these are all connected here. I think a lot of it comes down to, again, the fixed mindset, the laziness, and of course, in this last one, the idea of blaming other people, but the idea of not just taking responsibility. I want you to take responsibility. I want you to take responsibility for your growth, for your actions. Why? So you can move forward, and you can move forward fast. That's what I want for you. I want you to be able to move forward fast and accomplish the goals that you're trying to accomplish. That is going to be the way that you are going to kick ass in this life. That's the way you're going to be able to meet more women. And that's how you're going to get the year 2020 to be awesome for yourself. I made this episode to motivate you. You might not be a man child, you might not be immature, but maybe there's some things here that resonated with you that you can remind yourself, you know what? I can work harder at this. I can stop playing victim. I can stop going for the quick fix. I can get up and realize that I can do something about the situation that I'm in. You know, a lot of guys go, well, I'm really short and, or I'm really fat and that's why girls don't like me. And it's like, okay, well, what could we do? Are we just going to sit here and blame women? Women suck. They only want to go for muscular and tall guys. Well, first of all, it's not necessarily true. But even if it was, okay, so then what? You're just going to give up? No, there's always something you can do. There are things that you can do to get better at meeting and attracting women. I'm working on this pretty much every day with guys who are willing to really put their best foot forward and not give up through the coaching program. There's always something that you can do. Whether it is coaching or it's by yourself, there's always an answer. In fact, there's a lot of answers here on this podcast that I've been giving you for the past 5 years. And I want you to use them because I want you to succeed. I want your growth. I want you to kick fucking ass. And I want you to do it this year. So I hope that this has motivated you. I hope that this episode has brought your thinking to a new level to see where some of your faults are, looking at it logically and rationally and not putting yourself down for it and moving forward. That's what I want for you. I want lots of success. So I hope this comes at a good time. Don't forget, if you need coaching, go to coachedbytripp.com. You can apply today. I will read your application and we can see if coaching is a good fit for you. And if it is, we'll hop on the phone and we will kick some more ass. So I hope that helps. See you in the next episode. Talk to you soon.